Alright, welcome to the final part of the SaaS Masterclass. In this part, we'll be covering the final scene as you can see above. As said before, do follow along and tag Made by Vidboy, and I'll definitely reshare what you make. Without any further delays, let's dive in. Alright, so this is what we're gonna cover in this last part of this tutorial series. This much is left, that's all. Then we'll be done with the masterclass. As you can see, we have three scenes in this. First is this one where you get this text, the logos, and the switch. Second one again is the logos with, this time it's with the black background and just the text and the switch. Third scene is very basic, switch to day 2. Then we got a switch, and then we got this icon, this navigation icon kind of thing with an echo, which I'll show you how I made it, and transitions to the end screen. This is what we're gonna cover. So we'll start with the first one. Okay, what is happening in this one is, this is just, are you ready to make the switch? This is just, these are basic text layers with this switch. As you can see, this is the switch. Once it turns on, it converts to green. Okay, we got this logo. How I made these logos, please watch part 1 of this masterclass and you'll learn how I made these logos, how I did the lighting, how I did the animation. Everything is in the part 1. So I won't be repeating the logo construction part, this 3D logo construction part in this one. So we'll be directly using the pre-com that we made for these logos. This is the pre-com. Okay. Similarly for here also. Yeah, pretty simple. All right, let's do it. Let's just make a new comp. FPS 29.7 is completely fine. Let's name it, I'll just name it part 3. First, we'll take a white shape layer. Why I've taken a shape layer is because I'll be animating its background colors, the colors of this shape, so that we have a background color animation. That's why I've taken a shape. You can also do the same thing with the solid also. Alright. Now we have, are you ready to make the switch? These are all SF Pro fonts, SF Pro display fonts, the Apple fonts. Pretty basic. This is the Motion Tools plugin that I'm using for a lot of things actually. And if you want a link to this, you can just find it in my Discord server. Links down in the description. Also, the assets of this whole project are in the Discord server. If you want to follow along, please check out my Discord server, join it, have a look at the assets channel, and you can download all these assets from there itself. -33 is the text gap that I have kept. Okay. Now I'll just split all of this in singular words. Okay. Again, this plugin is all, the script is also available in the server. Center the anchor points. I'll orient them like this. So it's basically, are you, then you have ready is here. I'll just this for proper alignment. Well, let's just lock this layer now. For now, let's just align them correctly. So what I'll do is I'll just press Ctrl R to open up the scales to see if I'm aligning them correctly. As you can see, they're not on the same level. So let's just do that. Okay, they're on the same level. Switch, will do it later. Okay, Ctrl R, let's just turn it off. You are in almost grayish colors. For ready, we have a gradient overlay. Let's just make it multicolorish. Let me see what I did there. So ready. Okay, it's blue, then we have a dark blue, then we have pink and orange. All right, let's do that one. Like this. Yeah, this one's much better. These are there. Let's animate them. You can animate them in your own way, however you like. Okay, for example, for this one, I'll just give them the bounce animation. 2, I'll give the bounce animation. M, I'll give this characters coming one by one animation. Though I'll give bounce animation. Ready, I'll give yeah, I'll use the Zakaria text plugin. You can find it in Discord server. I'll use the bouncing text one. Now let's just offset them all. Okay, are you ready to make the switch? What I've done is I've placed the switch here and I've placed the 3D logos here. So I'll just find them in my composition, the 3D logos here. Wait. When ready comes, then they should start coming. For the switch, I got them from Figma. Okay, in the next video, in the coming videos, I'll show how I do storyboards basically in Figma. I've just started doing storyboards. This video, I didn't do any storyboard. Okay, this was a very random choice. Okay, but the next coming up videos, I'll start the storyboarding process and I'll definitely show you how storyboarding is done. Okay, how I use Figma in my designs, how I import them in After Effects, and how I animate them and everything. But I think these are just shapes, which I don't clearly remember. I think these are just shapes that I did. Okay, let's this. I know we can take this on Figma also, but let's just do one thing. We can just make them instead. So this is a gray button, as you can see. First, it's a gray toggle. This has some, I think inner shadow is also there. There's some inner shadow. Okay, this, and then you have the miniature version of this, which is the button. This is the holder, and this is the toggle. Okay, and make this button very easy to make. Do it like this, guys. Don't do it from these scales. Okay, this will destroy your original shape. What you should do is you should manipulate this shape from the shape properties, like this size. Okay, and this. Now let's just make a duplicate of this one, reduce the size of it, change the color to white. I think something like this is fine. Of course, this is also a big. This is perfect. Yes, correct. Now first things first, we'll just connect it to the main button too. All right, and let's just track matte it also, so that it's not visible outside. Now to give it some shadow inside, we'll use some inner shadow. All right, let's reduce the distance. This much is fine. Let's just reduce the opacity a bit. Okay, that's how you get this hollow feeling. Okay, notice, and we'll just give this some drop shadow. Done. Now this can be toggled like this. When this will be toggled, this will change to green and the scene will change. Okay, this is all about design. You have to get the design correct to make it look appealing. Okay, it seems a bit too crowded, the logos as well. So what I'll do is this whole line, I'll shift it a bit downwards. Let's space it out a bit. Okay, give it some breathing room. When the is coming, I'll animate the positions. Okay, when this comes, the switch should come. Now for switch, you can do multiple style of animations. Like what I'm thinking of is bounce it. Let's do it 15. Let's offset these these keyframes. Also, if you don't want this to come from this far, you can just do it from here, and you can at the same time you can animate the opacity as well. Now remember, this layer, this button was track matted to this shape. So if we reduce the opacity of this shape, the lower one, automatically this button, the white button, won't be visible, because if this is not visible, this won't be visible. So if we animate the opacity of just this part of this gray shape, okay, we are automatically animating the opacity of this white button as well. Okay, so it's like this. I still feel the switch is a bit close, so I just shifted the position a bit downwards, and I'll just replace this keyframe to the original one. Or there's an easy hack also. Okay, if you want to move this and this together, okay, or anyone without altering the keyframes, you can connect both of them to the null, to a null. Okay, you can shift the null as much as you want. Okay, for example, you put it there. Now the animation would still stay the same. Okay, the keyframes will automatically be shifted accordingly. Okay, you don't need to shift the keyframes again and again. So this is a very good trick that I use. Like after you're done sorting out the position, just delete the null. Simple. Sorted. This scene of yours is done. Now all you have to do is you just make it 3D, add a camera. Okay, first this, then this. Okay, so basically what I have done is, initially when we start, we are coming out from out of the frame. Okay, let's just F9 it. You can take it even more outwards. Just drag it. Okay, are you ready to? Okay, now connect another null to this position. Somewhere along here, we just put a keyframe. Zoom into the switch. Let's make the curve something like this. We want a very rapid movement. Yes, this is fine. So I think we are done with the first scene. Pretty simple. One more thing that I did was, it's just very subjective. So up to you that if you want to do add it or not. I added my preset blur reveal in. What happens is, I just animated the blur. Initially the blur is high, then it reduces to 0. What is happening is it just gives that effect that okay, something is coming in focus. So initially it was out of focus, now it's coming in focus. Okay, if you want this preset, you can find this again in my Discord server. It's a pre-made preset, very easy to make. You can make it yourself also, it's not that big of a deal. Let's just cut the layer to here to keep our timeline very clean. Okay, we are done with the first scene. Now, simple. The moment this comes here, basically we toggle the switch. Okay, the scene changes. Somewhere here, we'll animate this. If you want to give a bounce, you can give bounce also. I'll just give it basic F9. I want to make it a very smooth kind of animation, which is this also. Doesn't add much because it's a 5-frame animation. It won't be that noticeable, but again, these are minor details that is totally up to you. Okay, the moment this switches here, the gray button turns green. Okay, so there are two ways to do that. Either you add a fill to it and animate the color and everything, or you can just add, where is it? You can add fill from here. Okay, you can animate the fill here also. Sorry, no need to add another one. Just go to contents, rectangle, fill. Let's animate the fill here. Initially it's gray. Okay, here we wanted green. Something like this. This green is fine. Okay, let's notice how this just changes. Done. We have made the switch. The moment it switches, as you can see in the original animation also, this comes here. Basic stuff. It changes to green. We'll just the scale and the position. We'll reduce the scale and we'll bring it here. Or what you can do is you can just press Control Home on Windows to bring all the layers at center. Mac, you have to search a bit. It's called bring layer to center, something like this it's called. Okay, you can do that to bring this button in the center of the whole thing, and then you can just bring it down a bit. Okay, then just, it's a bit slow. We can make it to start a bit earlier as well. Let's just increase the scale a bit. Now, the moment this, turns green and goes here, this whole scene changes. How I've done that is, I've cut all the layers above and changed the background to black, like I said that I would be doing. And then we have this, our 3D shapes, 3D logos, and these gradients below it. And they all come. And then we have this basic text. This is just the big. Somewhere along this mark, I'll cut these layers. The shortcut I'm using on Windows is Alt plus square bracket, right square bracket. Okay, on Mac it's Options plus square bracket. Let's animate the fill for this as well. That's why I made a shape layer, so that I can animate the colors easily. Now this is white. I'll just make black color. That's how I did the black color thing. Okay. Now we'll have the logos. Again, this was covered in the first part. Please watch the first part again, okay, to see how I made these logos. If you're new to the channel, please watch the first part. You can find it on the channel itself. Okay, there's a playlist also for this. You can find it there, how I made the 3D logos, how I did the lighting and everything, how I animated, everything is there, okay? And how I also showed how I made these shapes also. Pretty easy to make. So again, I won't be remaking all of this, okay? For simplicity, I'll just copy this comp, which I made, strong emphasis on made, in part 1, and I'll just place it here, okay? There's this press Control Home to bring it in center. Bring it a little earlier also if you want that smooth transition. Yeah, perfect. How I made this is just the beginning text. So I'll remake that part again. Let's just give it white color for now. Place it somewhere here. Give it the bounce animation. Again, I'm using the script by Kuldeep MP4. It's called Precertify. You can find this script in his server, Discord server. I think that's where I got it from. Or I think it's Gumroad, I'm not sure. So shout out to Kuldeep MP4. Just give it the bounce animation. Offset this. This is just the beginning. Now, what I did was, I needed a gradient look on overall of all of this text. Okay, so what I did was, I just made a comp, Control-Shift-C. There's this trick you can do. You can just press this button, select this portion, go to composition and select crop composition to interested region. Okay, that way you have cropped the composition to this much only. Now you don't have to tackle with extra spacing. Okay, if it disappears, just press Control Home. Okay, here's the text. I added a gradient ramp. Why I added a gradient ramp? Because I wanted to add deep glow. If I had done a gradient overlay through layer styles. Okay, I'll just show you quickly. To add a gradient, this is one of the methods. Okay, something that I would also prefer, but why not in this situation? I'll show you. Okay, this is the gradient that we have done. Now, if you want anything to add from this effects and preset panel, for example, the deep glow, it looks like this. It looks very ugly. Okay, or if you want to add, let's say, CC light sweep. Okay, see, it's not working. It's not at all working. So that's why the best use case in this scenario would be just use the gradient. Okay, now if you add deep glow, see, this will work. Okay, before that you gotta add CC light sweep also. Always add, I prefer adding CC light sweep first. Okay, this adds this part. Okay, now let's just animate center. Let's just keep the center here for now. Center here. Now you can just, and that's how I made the text. Likewise, we have added text also. Okay, so button is coming here. We can obviously either shift the button or the text. I would prefer shifting the text a bit above. Done. For the transition, I use the same blur thing that I use. So I'll just use it from here. This part, yes. And we have a smooth transition here. Awesome. Now the last thing, we'll do a match cut. We'll animate the cameras. Scanning. Coming out of the frame. Somewhere along here. Just zoom in a bit. Okay. Somewhere at exactly at this point, we'll cut this part. Change the color back to white again. We'll have to cut the switch also. Yeah, and we're done with the match cut also. Last scene, switch to day 2. I'll use the same switch here. Same kind of style of text. So let's just do it quickly. Always just prefer clean spaces, okay? Always prefer clean spaces. They'll take you a long way. Connect it to a null first. Then convert it to 3D. Now select the null, press Ctrl Home. Voila, you will have it in center. Okay, let's reuse our switch again. Let's just remove the position animation, position keyframes for this one. We want the button animation to be a little quicker. So we'll shift these keyframes a bit earlier. You can, of course, if you want to add an animation here, and scale. Okay, it's happening a bit quicker. So let's just. Now we have this icon. Okay, it's following this path that I made from pen tool. I'll show you right now how I did it. And we have this shape also behind it. The shape is connected to the pointer, and then we have an echo effect on the shape so that it gives off this trail. Okay, and then when it passes through this, the color of the background changes and we get this haptics logo. So let's just find this. Let's just copy it, paste it. I'll remove the keyframes from this. Okay, I'll just draw a very basic curve. Select pen tool, press Alt. Done. Let's change it to dark blue for now. Okay. Change it to red, for example. Copy the path from this. Select the position and paste it. Okay. That way it gets traced on that path itself. Now just bring down the whole path, okay, to match the original path. And now you can delete the path that we drew. That's how your shape is done. It's a bit slow, so it's fine. Now the trail thing, let's just make a circle. Reduce the size a bit. Bring it below the main shape, icon, whatever you want to call it. What frame we used? I think on this frame, on this frame, just select the below one and connect it to the main shape. Okay, now it will follow it. Add echo to it. Now this is my echo preset. Of course, you can have it. Just find it in my Discord server in the plugins and scripts section. You can have it. That's how I did it. You can copy these settings also. That's also fine, and make a preset out of it. That's how I did this one. The moment it passes here, the text disappears. The switch, I think we should do it here. At this moment, we'll add 4 color gradient. So what we'll do is we'll just duplicate this layer. Okay, extend the below one, add a 4 color gradient on this one. Let's just take what colors I have taken from here. Yep, these were my colors, and you can just animate the position of these colors to, you can bring these 2 points here. Okay, now when this transition is happening, you can just animate the opacities. Here, if you want, you can change the colors. You can animate the colors of this one as well. Select the fill for both. Keyframe, and somewhere, around here, you can change it to white. And we're done with the transition. Last part, the Aptix logo. First, center align it. We don't need to make it 3D. No use, because it's just a basic bounce animation. Position and opacity, somewhere along here, and we are done. Pretty simple, right? Thank you for sticking along till the end. Make sure to recreate this and do tag @madebyWithBoy, and I'll definitely reshare. Thank you for sticking by with this series. Stay tuned, as this is just the beginning. Peace.